What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wait, What Are We Talking About podcast, episode 79. My name is Bret, aka Enigma911, and today, once again, for the third time, I'm joined by TJ, aka Electric Wizbro. TJ, what's going on? Thanks for hopping on the podcast.
I think it's my third time on and third screen name, so we're doing good.
Oh, yeah, because the slight difference in spelling. You didn't have a screen name in the first episode. You were just TJ.
Oh, that's true.
Way back when.
I think I was Kilgore the second time we did it. So.
Oh, were you? You might have been. I don't know.
I might have been. I'll have to go back and watch it now.
Yeah. I don't know what number it is, but you can check that out over on youtube.com/ and SoundCloud if you don't catch it live, like you're watching right now. If you want to catch it live, you can watch it over on twitch.tv/Enigma911 every other Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can join in the chat, join on the conversation with us. We'd love to have you. If you can't catch it live, you can go over to YouTube and SoundCloud and check out those old episodes and this one in video and MP3 format, where it's posted the following Friday. So drop a sub, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. It's free, so you can do that. And then last but not least, merch store. You get all of your swag over there, t-shirts, cups, backpacks, and more. Rep the brand, support us. It would be greatly appreciated. So yes, another podcast. We got some good topics today, a little review session, or thoughts of some stuff, but also I'm realizing it's also a Pedro Pascal? Is that the guy's name?
Yeah.
It's a very heavy focused episode on this man and his talents in a way. But we're going to jump right into it. Wonder Woman 84 we want to talk about and share our feelings about. So, a little heads up disclaimer right now. If you have not seen Wonder Woman 84 and you don't want to be spoiled for the first 30 seconds, we will give our non-spoiler-esque reviews of just our bland overall thoughts of this movie. Then we're going to move into the spoiler section where we're going to talk every minute in heavy detail. Not really every minute, but just the big points that stuck out to us and what happened in this film. So there is your warning. I don't want to hear it in the comments. This will be the same for topic 3. Anyways. So, Wonder Woman 84, I thought was fine. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was the most entertaining or exciting of a film, but I thought it was worth a watch. I don't regret wasting that 2 hours or whatever it was. I thought it was fine. TJ, what did you think?
I think the same, actually. I'm seeing a lot of hate from this movie on the internet. I'd give it a solid 5 or even 6 for some of the action scenes, but it definitely wasn't as good as the first one. And I will say in general, Pedro Pascal does steal the show, for me at least.
Yeah, so. I agree with that. So now we are going into spoiler territory, and we're talking everything about this movie. So see you later, skip ahead, do whatever you need to. So yeah, what made it for you hit that fine area? Was there anything specific that you can think of?
Oh gosh, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, between the script and some of the, although I did like some of the action scenes, there's some parts of the action scenes where I'm just like, what is happening right now? She's lassoing a rocket to go onto a light pole. What is happening? And although they did hit some marquee Wonder Woman moments where I'm like, oh look, they did the invisible jet, but in a cool modern style take.
For sure.
I don't know. It felt very un-superhero movie-ish as well at the same time, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
The action was just kind of they're like, oh, it's the end of an act, so she's gotta fight some Egyptian fighters who Pedro Pascal just got 30 seconds ago, and now she's fighting Wonder Woman, and now she's a cheetah now. You're like, okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. I felt so going off the action, I thought it was fine. I never felt like it really kicked in fully, if that makes sense. Obviously with the first Wonder Woman movie and the Batman vs Superman and Justice League movie, she has this theme that Hans Zimmer has made, right? And everybody fucking knows it, and it's a banger. Yeah. They never went into it. There was one fight, maybe with Cheetah, or maybe it was an earlier one. They start crescendoing into it, and then it just cuts off and just dissipates and dies in the air. And it's like, what? What happened to all the I'm supposed to have feels right now while we're fighting, but no. So that felt weird. And then, okay, I understand the lasso thing. Like you said, some of those moments were weird. I thought it was cool. The biggest thing that stood out to me, now maybe I don't know, because flat out, as many of you know, I'm not as big as a DC fan as I am a Marvel fan, like a lot of people. But like, I know the basic things about the superheroes. But does Wonder Woman have super speed or no?
I don't know, honestly. I'm in the same boat as you. Where I'm like, I don't really know what her powers are. In the movies, it seems like she's basically just Superman in a skirt. Like in these movies,
yeah,
it's really hard to tell.
Okay, so in the movie, like TJ said, they seem to give her this ability, and it seems like she has super speed. It looks so bad in this movie. Seeing her legs go, and it like doesn't like I get it, it's graphics and CG, but like I feel like we've had so many speedsters over the years, whether it's X-Men, whether it's Quicksilver, whatever, like a Flash, even like it. You can suspend that disbelief because they hide it well. This did not seem hidden at all. There was the point. It might be that battle you talked about the Egyptian guys, whatever it was, where she's running after the trucks. There's moments where they have cars in front of her to hide it, but then there's these big gaps in between said cars where you can clearly see her legs going, but it looks like she's just floating in the air, and it's like, what the fucking what? It just looks so bad. It's like, how did this pass? So it's just confusing in that aspect.
I will say the very first fight I thought was pretty.
Oh, at the mall? Yeah, that was fantastic.
That was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was great. And even the just action sequence when she was a little kid, like that wasn't, action, but like that was engaging enough that I was like, oh yeah, okay. But yeah, I don't know what happened with just later on, like the running. The cheetah fight seemed quick. Like, I mean, I thought, okay, kind of tanging off to another thing. I thought Cheetah looked good. There was that close-up of her face shot early on that was like, oh, okay. But the rest of it, I was like, yeah, this looks cool. And I didn't want to watch the second trailer because of it, but I couldn't help my excitement. So I watched it and saw her anyway in that flash. But I thought that was good. But yeah, that fight seems small or quick. I do like that it was a decent, like, Cheetah was a threat. And they built her up as that before, too, in the White House. But
the White House fight,
yeah, but it just seemed short. I don't know. And then I got really scared they were going to kill her off. I'm like, really? You're just going to just zap her to death? And then we're dead? Whatever.
Yeah, I'm kind of resigning to accept the fact now that, like, Wonder Woman movies, like, the last 15 to 20 minutes is going to be a fight in the dark at nighttime with CGI going, and I'm not going to understand 50% of what's happening.
Fair.
But at least in the first one, you had that Hans Zimmer score the whole time. So
yeah. Yeah. I don't know. You mentioned the invisible plane moment. That was cool.
That was great.
Yeah, that was nice to have that in there. A little confused. She said her dad made the mascara invisible. But it's all.
Is her dad Zeus or whatever?
I don't know. That just confused me. I'm like, this is an all-female island. What? Maybe that was something in the first movie I just forgot. But I was like, wait.
Yeah, I thought her dad was Zeus because Zeus, Zeus be getting around, if you know what I mean. And,
okay.
And then he just like gave her that power, I guess. I don't know.
All right, if that's the case, fine. But I was just like, what? You got a dad? What happened there?
I could be completely wrong about that, by the way. I'm sure.
Yeah, we don't know the lore. Somebody will tell us. Let's see. Learn to fly was cool. They added that in.
She could lasso the air.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Get it up and then pull yourself, kind of thing. That was good.
It looks cool.
Let's see. Okay, I talked about the electrocution with Cheetah, and then she's still alive. Got zapped in the water, but then you're waking up on the ground. What? Okay. Um, yeah, I think I've hit most of my notes, or at least for negatives. There's some cool little cameos and stuff. But let's move over to Pedro. You said he stole the show. What captured you about his performance in this movie?
Just his performance in general. Like I really like that kind of oh gosh, I can't think of the guy's name. Who plays in Iron Man 2, who plays
Justin
the
Hammer?
bad Hammer, yeah. Who's that guy?
Crap.
I can't think of his name ever. I always want to say Army Hammer, but I know that's not his name.
No, that's fucking Lone Ranger dude.
Yeah, that's not what I'm thinking of. But he had a lot of that energy, like really charismatic, like really funny and stuff, really carried the scenes.
Absolutely.
And honestly, like I knew it was Pedro Pascal, but with that haircut and the way he was acting, especially in the beginning of the movie, like he had a very Nathan Fillion vibe.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
That I really appreciate. He just looks like Nathan Fillion a little bit too.
Right.
So I really like that. I thought he added a lot of humor and stuff to the movie. And of course, he also sells the like I'm slowly turning into a rock or whatever was happening to him. So.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think that's my biggest problem with the movie is just the magic rock in general. But
okay.
I mean, it is comic books, so they did at least explain it a little bit well, where it's like, oh, okay, it was a different god or whatever, but just having a whole plot contrivance around. I know this is going to sound very hypocritical coming from a Marvel fan who loved the Infinity War, but having a magic rock was like a little, it was a little bit too much. Like it needed to be slightly more defined, I guess. I mean, they did do like a monkey's paw type thing with it, which is cool. Steve Trevor even references Monkey Paw, which I actually stopped the movie when I saw that, and I like Googled when was Monkey Paw written, and I was like, okay, no, it was published in 1906, so he would have known about that.
Right.
So that was cool, but I don't know. I just feel like when you make the power like a Dragon Ball Z like wish type thing, it's like things can just kind of get all over the place, and you start having questions. Like I know the internet is really hating on Steve Trevor also just like being in some random dude's body.
Oh.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of that.
Yeah, I kind of understood that because like, what else is gonna happen? Is he just gonna be his old body all zombified and stuff, or is he just gonna spawn as a new guy? Because then you get the weird explanation of like, okay, let's say he just poofs out of thin air, like how is he gonna know anything or whatever? I thought that took me a second, honestly, to understand what was going on when they did the whole camera pan. I was like, oh, he's not actually there. He's in okay. All right. Yeah. So I was fine with that, but I totally agree with the stone. Not like I was fine with it being that all powerful thing, but I get where you say like it could go over the top or just be too much. Because, I mean, look at the ending of all of the chaos in the world that is happening. Like, holy fuck. Like, I was wondering how they were going to do it, if it was going to be like a rewind situation because everybody renounced, or as the movie went, it just all goes poof, kind of thing. But I did like how they also kind of explained, like, the fall of different societies. Like, they kind of put it into history points, like the Mayans and then the Julius Caesar and like stuff like that. I thought that was nice.
I thought it was cool too in the Egyptian scene when he like re-alters the borders. That empire that he's talking about, it's not even that big of a border change, but I like that even a small border change like in the 80s during this hostile time would mean like, oh, Russia recognizes this and then America doesn't recognize this, or vice versa, or whatever. And it loses tension. I thought that was really cool and realistic, actually. Yeah,
I couldn't remember if his wish was that everybody realized it was his land or whatever, so I thought that was why they announced different things recognizing it or whatever, but maybe I'm wrong.
He said a specific, I forget which like clan or whatever, but it was a specific empire, like dynasty from like the 800s or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, some of those the wall literally coming up, that was a little odd. Like, why didn't you just, I don't know, everybody leave or whatnot?
I'm like, is that how countries work?
Yeah. Well, look at China. Boy. But yeah, going back to Pedro, yeah, I thought he did really, really well. I when I saw these trailers, I thought like I wasn't gonna care at all about Max Lord. Is that his name? His
Yeah.
character. I thought it was just going to be a throwaway, and then Cheetah would obviously be the main focus. Similar to kind of in a way how Aquaman did it. Like I didn't care about Brother Atlantean, but I cared about Black Manta being in it.
Right.
So I thought that was going to be my take. And unfortunately, Cheetah, like, she didn't fall through per se. I thought Kristen Wiig's performance was good and the character was strong. Like I said, I think she made more of an impact in the White House scenes compared to her final battle where she was actually Cheetah fully. But yeah, he like totally took it over, and he didn't do anything like fighting wise towards her. Like it was more the obviously his mystical power of the wishing and stuff like that. And I thought, was he already having health problems before The Rock, or was The Rock like deteriorating him?
Yeah, I think it was that's the monkey's paw aspect of his wish was like he becomes the wishing stone, but then I don't know what was happening. They never like said exactly what was
Right.
happening to him. He started bleeding everywhere, but
Right.
something was going down. So I think that's what it was.
Okay.
The
Okay.
Rock.
Gotcha. But yeah, he was good, and I feel real bad for his kid, like just wanting to hang out with his dad. Just God.
That one scene right before the White House scene when he's like, "I have him again. How many weeks am I gonna have him again?" And he's like right there.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. 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 I don't know. It had good points, but yeah, for some reason, like I don't know, maybe it was a pacing thing for me too. It just felt, I don't know, off sounds maybe like too much. It just didn't seem like a really exciting movie. And like you mentioned earlier, like Wonder Woman 1 being better, I felt more engaged in Wonder Woman 1. Have I seen it since I watched it in theaters? No. So I probably don't remember it super well, but I felt like that one had more of a progression. I don't know. This one, some points, it just kind of not stopped, but didn't feel as strong with the plot, I guess. Like,
Yeah, Wonder Woman 1, I've seen like 4 or 5 times now though. 'Cause
okay.
I really like World War One. So all of those scenes when she's like running up over the trench and like taking out the sniper and stuff, I thought was just like super cool to see and done so well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've always daydreamed, like, oh, you can just walk over the trench, just
Yeah.
like go through no man's land. That was so badass.
Mm-hmm.
But also, if I'm not mistaken, this second movie is the first one directed by, or sorry, written by Patty Jenkins. Is that her name?
That's the director's name.
Yeah, so she directed the first one, but I don't think she wrote the script for it.
Oh, okay.
I think she wrote the script for the second one and directed it,
Mm.
and which is why I was a little confused as to why the script was kind of all over the place, like pacing wise, like you mentioned. Because as far as I know, she's been great at script writing. Like she wrote that movie Monster, if I'm not mistaken, as well, which is really good. That was it's a very like a bottle ship movie where like they're stuck in a car, but there's like a monster in the woods.
Oh, okay.
It's very, very good, very cool movie. So I just, I was surprised when the script wasn't really like that was my biggest issue with the movie was the script, and I thought for sure that was the one thing that was going to be a lock because she was like, she was taking the helm for it. So,
Right.
I don't know.
Interesting. But yeah, we do have a confirmation of a third one, and Patty's still going to be working on that. I don't know. I know she's directing for sure. I don't know about the writer position. So I'll be interested to see where it goes from here. Did you watch after the credits or the mid credits?
I did not know.
You did not. Okay. See, I only knew about this because Twitter. But there was a cameo, a little Easter egg. Nothing like super, but it was cool. So it shows a town, and I don't remember what happened specifically. Oh, something like is crashing down. I think it's like a telephone pole or something like that. Crashing down on this family. And as you're walking through this town, you're following this woman, or it kind of like slow pans down, so you realize the focus is on a woman with long black hair. Thing crashes down, woman catches it, places it down, saves the family. Oh, thank you. Da, 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 da. What's your name, etc. It turned out to be the woman that Wonder Woman talked about with the golden Egyptian armor earlier in the movie that was lost. And it turns out to be Linda Carter, the first Wonder Woman on the TV series.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so just a little fun cameo there. That was nice. Yeah.
I guess my only closing remark then on the movie is that, like in Batman versus Superman, as much as I've tried to black that movie out, I do remember that people like she's under the radar, Wonder Woman, like Diana. And it seems like she did a lot in this movie to be above the radar. Like, how many people still know who she is?
Yeah, all she did was kept going, oh, it's our little secret. Don't tell anybody. How is there not even like a rumor or like something going on of...
It was like a mall of 1,000 people that she just like burst in full costume and then she just goes, shh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I don't know how that would have gotten by.
Maybe they're just forgetting that movie as well.
I don't know. Zack Snyder's fucking cut of Justice League would say otherwise.
Oh, I do want to see that though.
I know. I'm like, do I want to waste 3 hours of my life maybe having this on? It's got Jared Leto in it.
Ooh, okay, maybe I don't then.
Oh, I liked the Joker thing, so I was fine with that. But
okay, but they're putting Darkseid in it, so like I definitely want to see that.
True, but like some of them did reshoots, some of them didn't. Like apparently Gal Gadot hasn't gone in at all to do anything, so it's like where?
Yeah, one report I read said that it was only like 5 minutes of reshoot.
Yeah, so it's like, what? Does it even matter?
But they're spending like I think it was like $90 billion, however much it is to redo it.
Because we got to add all the little bitty pieces to the fucking the fuck face, whatever. Steppenwolf, thank you. Yeah.
God, why do I remember that?
Get out of the shiny pieces. I don't know.
I hope there was just like a bunch of footage that he shot that they didn't use that like they had to go in and actually put the CGI in for, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, my limited knowledge of TV shows and movies, how they shoot things. Yeah, there's a bunch of alternate cuts and obviously multiple takes of stuff. So yeah, maybe they just took that footage and strung it together or whatever. Yeah. One last thing I guess I'll talk about with this movie. Shout out to the wrestling magazine that had Jerry Lawler on the cover. Good on you. So, I don't know. So yeah, there's our thoughts on Wonder Woman 84. Like I said, overall, fine. I don't know. I don't get all the hate, but yeah, some criticism's fine. So yeah, let's moving on to topic 2. TJ, what is your topic today?
Yeah, for Christmas I have a $20 Steam gift card.
Nice.
And the Steam winter sale ends in like a day and a half now, or a day and 4 hours or whatever.
Okay.
And I keep putting stuff into the cart and taking it out, so I don't know what to get.
All right.
It's a tough decision. I definitely want to get something before the winter sale ends because everything's like 75% off. But it's so hard to make a decision on Steam when there's 50 bajillion games.
Yeah, exactly. There's anything. Okay. So
I didn't know if you had any suggestions.
if I had any suggestions. Oh boy. Okay. Well, my wealth of PC knowledge and games. I have a couple. I'm curious to know what has made it into your list and then like you decided against it.
That's a good point. Let me pull up my Steam wish list here, which just also probably has a gazillion games on it now. It's
Wow.
very helpful. Yeah, so I've got a lot of turn-based stuff.
Okay.
So I don't know. I was trying to get maybe a turn-based game, but like that's not going so well. Kingdom Come Deliverance. I don't know if you heard of that game.
I've heard of it. I don't know much about it.
I had that game on there for a while, but then also like there's so many factors when it comes into PC gaming because like I don't have a big hard drive, so it's like oh that's 80 gigabytes, so now I'd have to delete a game to put this one on.
Yeah, it's the same conversation we've had with PS4 and Xbox One, and now next gen being PS5 and Xbox Series X. Jesus, got that right. Like, yeah, storage. These games keep getting bigger and bigger, and you're like, fuck, what?
Oh, here's one. Have you played Detroit Become Human? Have you ever
Yes.
played that game?
Yeah, I played it on stream. It was good. It was fun. One and done. You can do it multiple times because obviously all the different choice and dialogue. But yeah, I thought it was a very good story. We had fun with it. Yeah,
Is it very
strong.
like cyberpunky? Because that's the kind of reason that I was looking at it, is because I'm all hyped up on the cyberpunk still. So
It's cyberpunk in a way of that it's like a future setting. I don't remember the actual timeline or year that it's taking place. But you, through the story, you will take the identity of three different androids, I guess. No, robots, just robots. Robots that like, they're becoming human.
oh,
And they're kind of, learning to do things for themselves, or that they have free will, I guess you could say. So you're kind of taking the possession, or whatever you want to call it. I don't remember the exact term, but you're going through their stories. And obviously, at some points, they will intersect and whatnot. And it's a choice heavy style game. I'm trying to think of, okay, have you played.
his older games at all? The same studio or director, I
No,
guess.
like I think it was Heavy Rain
Heavy
was one.
Rain.
I have
Heavy
not.
Rain is the only one that I've played of his. With Jason, like that game.
Okay, yeah, I haven't played that one. But it's similar to like that, and obviously, and like Life is Strange. If you have played.
Okay, I haven't played Life is Strange.
Okay, so that's like a story. Oh, it's the same story, but it's all choice based narrative. So like
Hmm.
that's essentially what Detroit Become Human is. And yeah, based on your choices, certain things will happen. Some people will like you, some people won't. Blah blah blah, butterfly effect, etc. So
Yeah, that was one game on my list as well. Was Tell Me Why, which I think is the
it's the newest
same.
Don't Nod game, which I didn't know about until Game Awards, and I was like, oh, okay. And the funny thing is, the woman who accepted the award at Game Awards for Tell Me Why, I don't remember what it won for. I think it was something story related. She went to school with her, elementary through high school. I was like, holy shit! What? I had no
Oh
idea.
wow,
Yeah. Um, so I haven't checked out that one. Um,
it's really cool.
but yeah, those games are great. Life is Strange 1. I think 1 is fantastic. 2 is really good too. But I don't think it compares to 1. So,
Hmm.
if that
Well, I'm
makes sense.
also in just because I'm contrived and I want to make this as difficult as possible on myself. I'm like, I'm probably not gonna get like buy another game for like months now, right? So I need like a normal game, it's gonna like hold me over. So
Okay.
I'm like, well, Tell Me Why looks good. I'm like, I'm probably gonna play through it once, and then that's probably gonna be it.
Yeah.
So that's what's making this really hard. Is I'm looking for like replayable games or games that'll take forever,
Mm.
and that's always much more difficult to find one that you'll like.
Mm. Snacked in chat says Deus Ex Mankind Divided was dope. I haven't played any of the Deus Machina games, or
Oh man,
Deus games, but hmm.
I have a Deus Ex Mankind Divided actually, and
Oh,
I've
okay.
played 22 minutes of it. I could actually just play that game.
All right.
I also wanted to play the Human Revolution. It's like $3 right now in the winter sale, so I'll have to. That was like the game that came before it.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Okay.
Similar mechanics and also very cyberpunky. So I might actually. You know what? Let me just add that to the list.
All right.
That's a good one. For sure. What else did I have on here? Just random stuff. Oh, I had. Did you ever play Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines?
I
Like a
have
real.
not, but Jeff has. Jeff Reg, twitch.tv/Jeff Reg and Jeff Reg Gaming on YouTube. He's played it, and he played it on stream for a little bit. We were enjoying it. He hit a spot where he wanted to restart because me making choices, he wanted to do that with his chat. I kind of fucked him over and kind of ruined things unintentionally. But
Oh,
that's
you did like a two place Pokemon type situation with it.
in a way, yeah. He would be like, okay, guys, what choice dialogue wise are we making here? So I think he was enjoying it. It just got to a point where, like I said, he wanted to restart. So it looked good. It looked all right. It looked fun.
Yeah, I was only slightly apprehensive too because apparently you need like a patch or like a mod to fix some of the bugs. But
Oh,
looked up doesn't seem that hard actually, even though I'm like completely illiterate when it comes to modding games.
uh-huh.
So I might, if Jeff liked it, that's a pretty good recommendation then, because I seem to jive with a lot of his choices. So
Nice.
the cart. So there we go. We're up to $13 already. We're doing good.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't have to lock these in. I was just
No,
curious
locked in right now.
what candidates were, you know?
Horizon Zero Dawn was on the shopping room floor as well.
Dude,
Although,
that is one for me. I'm like, yes. I forgot that just came to PC.
40, but I was willing to throw in the extra cash if it was like really good.
Okay, well, okay.
It's 100 gigabytes though too.
Yeah,
so it's like a lot of variables.
I highly recommend it. I think Horizon is great. I was late to the PS4 era, so I didn't play it like right when it came out. But when I did, that was a big one that I wanted it for. Stream that. I enjoyed the story so much that we kind of streamlined it. Like, it's kind of like Witcher in a way, or Fallout, where it's a big open world. You have obviously the main quest line, but then you have this thing you can go do, this base you can clear, this person you can talk to that gives you this thing, la 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 la, whatever. I streamlined the story so much that when I eventually got to the end, I was still on my basic ass bitch bow and arrow from the beginning. That end battle took so long. I didn't die, but man, there was a lot of combat rolling and just pink, pink, just little damages here and there. I loved it, and I'm looking forward to Horizon Forbidden West a lot. That's coming out eventually, the sequel. So personally, I think that game's great, and I started a replay where I was actually exploring everything because it's a game I want to platinum. Haven't played it in a while, but that's a big one for me. But like I said, with it being 40, I can understand because it's either that could be the game that you're playing a long while for because of how open it is and the story's great, but also I can understand you want like variety type thing, because what if you get it and you don't like it? Shit.
It's probably like or if it's kind of like The Witcher or like Fallout and stuff, like those are both games that I'll continue to play for forever. I'm on like my 5th Fallout 4 run and 6 Witcher run, so like I'll just continue to play those games. That was actually the most difficult thing I had about the game, was like I couldn't really tell gameplay style what it was like. Was it more like like an Assassin's Creed game, like as far as the open world goes, or was it like that Mad Max game? I don't know if you played that, or if it was like Fallout. So.
It's okay, so it's similar. The reason I say it's similar to Witcher and Fallout is just because the open map and there's a lot to do. It is third person like Witcher and Assassin's Creed. It's not. Okay, maybe I should ask this. What about Assassin's Creed is kind of like deters you?
It seems like in Assassin's Creed, a lot of the actions and stuff seem the same.
Okay.
Like you're doing like the same thing over and over again. Like it's less like side quests and more just like side activities.
Oh, okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Whereas like Fallout or The Witcher, like Fallout's like, oh, there's a different, specifically this one guy named Jerry that has a gun. You know what I mean? Yeah,
so the early Assassin's Creed, definitely are very repetitive. Fucking Assassin's Creed 1, every chapter is the same exact thing. It's just like, go eavesdrop here, go kill this guy, it's very, very repetitive. I think it's a little bit more like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I don't know if you watched me stream any of that or have seen that gameplay at all. And Valhalla New that's came out. I think it's more like that, where it is that, like you said, not as character specific, or like it is character. Sorry, it's not as repetitive, just generic tasks. Like I feel like there's a side quest where this guy lost his sister and his sister needs to be saved. There's a mission where this woman needs to go gather resources for her. There's this, there's that. And with the enemies, it's like wildlife, but they're like robot wildlife. There's a wide variety of them. So like how you tackle each of them essentially can be the same because you're using the same weapons, but they have different weak points. Their attacks are different. Like some you can do stealth wise, some you can recruit to be your allies to help you. Some are mounts, some are not mounts, some are big ass fucks, some are teeny tiny. Like I think there's enough variety in there.
Creativity as well, and like how you tackle the combat and stuff.
I think so. So you can either stealth it, you can do long range with the bow. There are melee weapons. As you progress with the society being advanced in technology, you'll discover more excuse me, advanced weaponry that you can use, whether it's explosive arrows or different types, or throwable items like grenades or etc. So there's that. So I don't know.
That's cool. I mean, that seems like it's right up my alley. Then that seems like it's speaking to me, because I love being able to just like completely change the style of play and stuff that I do. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna start playing stealthily now, just because. So
Gotcha.
Really, that sounds awesome.
Cool.
And everyone talks about that game a lot, so
yeah,
that's for sure. Let's see. Another game on there was Persona 4 Golden.
Okay. I don't know if the expert is available because she's reading right now. I need your Persona 4 Golden recommendation.
What?
That was a list on TJ's maybe playlist. I know you love Persona 4, so I wasn't sure if you wanted to come over here and give your 2 cents on why it's worth a buy or not.
No.
Okay. Guest star doesn't work out.
It absolutely is.
She says it's a great game. She loves that
Loved
game.
it. And I would recommend it, but I don't want to.
I mean, that works enough for me. I love
Fair
the
enough.
music in Super Smash Brothers, at least. So.
Yeah, my only experience with Persona is 15 minutes of 5 and a couple hours of 3. Now, I really enjoyed what I played of 3, but I kind of hard locked myself out of it, unfortunately. Kate has played it a lot, and she loves it. And every time it comes up, like, she's like, "Oh, you got to play it." And it's sitting there over there on my shelf to be played. So one day. But yeah, that's the only experience I can give. She says yes, definitely worth a buy.
I'm like a weird like contrarian. I like very bizarre games and stuff. So I got really into the SMT franchise in general, like the Shin Megami Tensei games.
Yep.
I like the mainline Shin Megami Tensei games, like Nocturne and stuff like that. But I'm just kind of, or even 4 on the 3DS. But I just don't know if I want to play like a life sim game where I'm in high school. Like,
Fair.
I didn't like high school the first time. I don't want to go to Japanese high school. That's
Fair.
terrible.
Okay, well, maybe that goes down the list then.
Was it like a lot of that stuff, or you can never really tell?
From what I played of 3, yeah, it was a lot of time management. So like, you have to decide on whether you're going to go talk to this person, whether you're going to train, whether you're going to rest your energy. Like, I think that was why I got hard locked, is I was very under leveled with my personas to where I needed to go or get to by a certain time. And me not doing multiple save states, nor have I ever, I was kind of SOL. And yeah, that's where I was at. So like I said, it was enjoyable, but yeah, you definitely have to time manage like what you're going to do when.
The whole sentence stressed me out alone.
Fair enough.
That's actually why I like turn-based games a lot. It's because I'm terrible at time management, so I can take an hour on this turn if I want to and stare at my character. So maybe not that one, but actually.
Have you played the Disgaea series at all?
I tried. There was one on the PlayStation Vita because I was one of the 12 people that had a Vita. I don't remember which one that was, but I liked that game a lot. But also, I didn't at the same time. So I like grid-based, turn-based strategies, but that's more off of the Final Fantasy Tactics model, where it's like in a cube with like different elevation.
Yeah.
And I'm more of the school of like Advanced Wars or Final Fantasy, Fire Emblem style, where everything's kind of level. It's not really the elevation; it's more like out.
Gotcha.
If that makes any sense.
Okay. All right.
So. I like them enough though. They're pretty good. I know everyone who plays those Disgaea games, like they're like, I played it for 57,000 hours and I lost my house. So
you have to. Yeah, I've jumped into 5 a bunch of different times and it's enjoyable. I originally watched my friend Dio stream it. That's why I wanted to grab it. I think the strength of 5 is the characters, the main characters. They're just so funny. Like there's the main hero who's like this, emo punk dude who's all down on himself, and then there's this crazy girl that crushes on him the whole time. There's these tough guys who are like wrestlers. They're all macho man, yeah, like they got the voice and everything, and I just thought it was hilarious. But yeah, the game, like obviously the character customization of the different classes and what you can do and how you're fighting with them, but Other than that, it's a lot of grinding and stuff like that, which can be good. But sometimes you're just like, I don't want to play this level for the 200th time in a row. Can I please do something different? Like,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I don't know why my brain just does not work with those cube-based tactics games. For some reason, I never understand the elevation.
fair enough.
Until it's I guess the last main game, looking at my list here, that I would have a question about is Control. That's exactly at 20. But I don't
Okay.
know why Henson on it.
All right. Once
But
again,
I don't know if you played it.
twitch.tv/JeffReg and JeffReg Gaming on YouTube. This man loves Control. That was his game of the year for 2019. It would have been his game of the year for 2020 if DLC was included in that bracket, but it wasn't. That man loves Control. So if you want an expert opinion, I would definitely go talk to Jeff about it. He streamed it. Lady and I watched it. Personally, we didn't think it was like great. Like, it was fine. But I don't know, maybe we were just half paying attention. We didn't know the story that was going on or whatever it was. But graphically, it looks good. Gameplay runs smoothly. Stuff like that. So, I don't know. That's up in the air.
I love that studio. They made Alan Wake, I think. And Alan Wake is like one of my top 50 all-time games for sure. I love Alan Wake.
Okay.
It's a fantastic.
Okay.
So I guess I'm a little mad at them for not making like Alan Wake 5 or whatever. Just continue.
Well, there are some. I don't know if it's connected, but there are some references. And then in the DLC, there is an Alan Wake expansion or DLC segment.
Oh.
So, yeah. So,
Okay, you might have sold me on Control then, but also I'll try and watch some VODs of Jeff if he has them up or on his YouTube channel.
yeah, he should have them on YouTube. That man puts everything on YouTube, so that should be there. But cool. Yeah, the only other recommendations I can make, like I said, my Steam experience is limited. You already have Among Us, and you're loving that, so that's good. Don't Starve is a great one that I like. It's kind of like a sandboxy survival out in the woods, cartoony, like Tim Burton-esque type style game.
It's hard.
It can be. It's a big learning curve, especially because like they don't handhold. It's like you gotta discover everything yourself and learn what it's about. But that can be fun. There is also a multiplayer version of the game, Don't Starve Together, so you can play with friends. Another one, cat time. Another one I would recommend is Party Hard. It's I want it not 8-bit, but it's like that 16-bit style. Top down, you're a murderer that just goes to different parties or different events, and your goal is to kill everyone at the party without getting caught by the cops. So there's different things in the environment that you can use to your advantage, or you can just stab people. There is a second game. I haven't played it, but Party Hard 1's really fun. If you're into Roller Coaster Tycoon and those type of games, Planet Coaster is a lot of fun.
Is that Roller Coaster Tycoon in space?
Not exactly. So it's the makers of it's the makers of Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, but they split off and did their own thing. So this is their version. And it's once again very sandboxy, obviously, like Roller Coaster Tycoon, Zoo Tycoon is. There's no story or like objective things to like go after, so it's literally just sandbox create. And you can get really expansive and creative with these things. Like it's essentially 3D modeling with all the tools that they give you. Like if you want to pivot, make things bigger, scale it, whatever, to create the environment or create the paths or whatever it is, you can obviously use buildings that people have made either in the Steam Workshop or the ones provided in the game if you want, and just make parks that way. Or if you want to get full hands-on, you can spend a lot of hours in there. Let's see. If you want a fun one to play with your girlfriend, maybe Super Bunny Man is a dumb one.
Was that the one where your legs are like locked in a weird shape and you have to like?
Yeah, you're dudes in bunny suits and you have to get to the end of the level without dying.
Oh my god! I think I watched the Game Grumps play that. Maybe.
Okay.
Let me look this up. Super Bunny Man.
Kate and I have
Yeah,
had a
that
lot of fun
was
with it. Kate and I have had a lot of fun with that one.
man.
Let's see.
Might play it, but definitely not with my girlfriend. She will break up with me so hard. Get frustrated.
And then another one, I haven't played it yet, but I've had it downloaded for a while, is Katana Zero. I've heard a lot of good things about that game. Ninja game, once again, like platformer, eliminate all the bad guys. If you die, you don't die. It's like you planning it out in your head. So when you die, it's like, oh no, that plan wouldn't work, and you like rewind back to where you were, kind of thing. Before
Is that
the
the
level.
story? I've seen the rewind like in the preview. I didn't know that was the
Yeah, so the story is he's like planning it in his head, like how he's going to attack. So if you fail, you don't die. You just reset and redo it. Yeah, so I've heard good things. But
side scroller Hotline Miami in a way, kind of. At least
I
just
think
like the
so.
vibe. Like the
I think
music
so,
and everything.
yeah. So those would be my recommendations. But yeah, there's a lot of good games you talked about. And you'll have to study up before you make your decision.
Oh yeah, I'll spend the next day like I did before on YouTube and watching reviews and
Yeah.
all this stuff. But, no, I appreciate it. You definitely helped me out. Got me a lot closer to it. So
Good. I'm glad.
Katana Zero is on sale. Okay.
Nice. Cool. All right. Well, let's move on to topic 3. We are talking The Mandalorian on Disney Plus. We are strictly talking season 1 because that's where TJ's at right now. Season 2, I know, just wrapped up. Later, I'll put in a part for season 2. But yeah, we're going to talk season 1 right now. So once again, just like Wonder Woman 84, we'll probably give a quick what we think of the show, and then we'll go into full spoiler mode. So if you don't want to be spoiled or haven't watched it yet, now's your time to peace out. Thanks for watching. Skip ahead, etc. Go check out another episode, whatever you need to do. But yeah, Mandalorian, I was personally late to the party. I did not start watching this until Thanksgiving break, and I watched 6 of the first 8 episodes of season 1, and it was great. Had a lot of fun with it. It's beautiful. Got good story, interesting characters. So yeah, that's my generic thing. Go watch it if you haven't and you're a Star Wars fan.
My generic review is yeah, it's what the sequel movies should have been. That's how good it is. I thought that was great and a good way to make a Star Wars movie that's not just about like 2 families, which is what I've always wanted. So thank you.
So now we're going into full spoilers. So once again, skip ahead, do whatever you need to. So yeah, season 1, a lot of things happening, setting up per se.
Robot.
What's up?
IG robot.
Yeah, IG robot. Yes, IG was cool.
I was mind at that.
Yeah, a lot of interesting characters that we met throughout. Obviously, we met main bounty hunter quest giver dude. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. Let's see. Met Cara Dune, the rebel shock trooper drop thing, whatever the fuck her role was. Met Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda. Obviously met Mando. Yeah, I don't know. It's just really, really good. It's really good. It's hard to explain. It doesn't, like TJ said, it doesn't rely on what's already established to tell its story. It's kind of its own entity and thing. And how it fits in this world. Because obviously, I mean, Star Wars is huge. There's so many planets and everything. Like, it's its own thing. Like, there's references to obviously the Rebels and the Empire and this and that and the other thing. But it doesn't focus on that, if that makes sense. Or, like, rely on it, per se. Like, some stories do revolve around, Empire's up to no good, etc. Because they're always doing whatever they want. But but it's not like, we got to take down the Empire kind of thing. It's like, we're doing this and, hello, they're in the way type deal, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's interesting in that way. And how I thought the season did a very good job of like each episode is its own separate entity, but there is this overarching story that I think by the time episode 8 does roll around, like, not a bow, but essentially like a nice stopping point that like leaves you satisfied, if that makes sense. Like, oh, okay, cool, this happened. But yeah,
Yeah, that was kind of my favorite part was going through. Again, sorry for only seeing season 1 of
you're good.
handcuffing you, but I did really like that at the end where because every episode was so self-contained, and I felt like they were all these like disconnected, desperate stories or disparate stories. And then at the end, when it all does kind of tie together, you're like, oh, we're coming back to see this character. Oh, they need this. Oh, it actually all did matter. It all did tie together.
Right.
It felt very satisfying. But at the same time, allowing you to have that kind of like villain of the week or like like situation of the week type stuff.
Right.
To allow like the insulated stories, like the one I think it's episode 6 maybe, where he's with like the thieves guild people, and he's like on the ship and they like turn the lights off.
Oh yeah, the prisoner. Yeah.
That's what's called, the prisoner. And it turns into like a horror show for a second.
Yeah,
like, this is awesome.
Yeah, that was a really good one, and the different thieves that were there were all interesting characters that like not you cared about, but were interested enough that it's not like, oh, this is just side character B, C, etc. Like, oh, okay, there's some history here, and they fleshed out their characters pretty well.
Yeah, one of them was Bill Burr, so that was. I saw some memes too. Does he come back in season 2?
Which one was? I don't recognize the actor's name.
Oh, okay. He's like a stand-up comedian, but he's got like
was he the bald gentleman who was
not bald, but he's got like very thinning hair.
Okay, he was like the leader with the gun on his shoulder.
Yeah.
You'll see him again. And speaking to your point of episode 8, how like everything kind of ties back in or people come back and stuff, this will be my only thing on season 2 for now. Like, I think I like this series a lot because people do come back and they're important. Like, it's not just one and done. Once again, Cara Dune and whatever his name is, I'm blanking, like, make the appearance at the end of episode 8 and help. Same with the IG unit, comes back and help. You get the, oh crap, it has been I have said it or whatever, the guy, the traveling guy, like, he comes back, which is great. Yeah. Like, everybody means something, and that trend continues on into season 2, and it's not like, oh, well, this guy's the most important, so yeah, they're gonna bring it back. It's like, oh, you brought that person back, okay, cool. Like, it's nice to see that these people come back and play a more prominent role than just being a filler for this episode, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it felt like a really good like Dungeons and Dragon dungeon master where you're like, hey, remember that one shopkeeper from like 4 missions ago? He's back now, and actually he has a mission for you.
Right.
What?
Right. Exactly. But yeah, it all wraps together very well. I mean, like, everybody in the universe who's watching the show, Baby Yoda is fantastic. Whoever is puppeteering or controlling this thing is amazing. Thank you for that, because you are suspending disbelief so much, and I'm so attached to this little foot tall green dude. And I shouldn't be.
CGI or puppet?
I think it's a mixture.
Oh, okay.
I think it's only CGI, like, maybe when the people are holding him and he's like interacting and moving, because there's a couple times where you can tell it's practical. When like they go to lift him off the ground, you can tell, oh, that's a puppet. Like, the green's a different pigment or whatever, and it's just like standing there. But other than that, I think, as far as I can tell, it might be all puppetry, especially those close-in shots where you can't necessarily see like his bottom legs. Like, I think that might be. The walking's probably CG, which is always adorable. Just him stumbling around. So it's all real good. It's all real good.
I mean, speaking to the point that they actually put puppetry in the show at all.
Oh yeah,
that's like way more expensive than doing CGI. So like they didn't really they didn't spare any expense with this show, like especially in all the fight scenes and stuff. I'm like, this could literally just be ripped right out of a Star Wars.
Oh yeah, the production value is fantastic for these. Yeah, it's not like TV quality. Well, TV quality. Like, it's not that difference. Like, yeah, absolutely. It's like, oh fuck, there's looks great, looks fantastic. I'll have a note about that on season 2, but yeah, it's just wow, mind blowing how good it looks. And so yeah, going on trail to episode 8, the very end, with Moff, what's his butt, whatever his name is, we see something jut out of a TIE fighter that he just crashed in. Is it a lightsaber or what? What is that?
I'm trying to remember. Was it not a lightsaber?
It looks like one. It's all black with a white glow. The only reason I'm questioning it's a lightsaber because it looks like a samurai sword. It's got the distinct like curve point. I'm just like, what? But yeah, it's like, oh fuck, okay.
It was cool, whatever it was, especially that like shadowy with a white outline effect, like the opposite cell shading.
Right. Right.
It's very cool.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see. Well, I mean, I've seen it, but it's interesting the progression that character in that story plot is going to take.
Does that technology come back? The shadowy light?
Yes, that guy, Moff, is going to be your main bad guy for season 2. He's not always present, but it's like a looming threat kind of thing. But when he does show up, like, it means something, if that makes sense.
I like that story idea as well. Just that, like, it's not necessarily Palpatine or like Vader pulling the strings of the Empire. It's just like the Empire's fallen, but there's still like this band of Empire, and they've got some resources, and they want to do a bad thing, and so they're going to do it. And
right.
That's cool.
Right. 100%. Where was I thinking? Or what was I thinking? I did notice a trend. It's always like, if he needs something done and he goes to ask for info or for help, oh yeah, but do this thing for me. You want this info? You gotta do this thing. He always gets roped into these activities or whatever it is. And I mean, early on, he started being literally the bounty hunter and just taking jobs on here and there. But yeah, as he progresses from that, when he wants assistance, he always needs to do something in return. So I just thought that was a funny, common plot point that we keep seeing.
Feels like a video game for sure in that regard.
Yeah.
But specifically The Witcher 3. Like the whole, he's just like looking for his daughter, and so like everywhere he goes, someone's like, "Oh, I have information on your daughter, but first do this very complicated, very long-winded quest for me." And he's just like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah.
Like, every time.
Yeah.
That's the Mandalorian basically.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of if there's anything else that like stood out. I really like the ship design. I thought that was cool.
What was the Slave of One?
I don't know. I really liked it.
No, actually, I do like it more than the Slave One. I like the different like compartments in it too. Like the functionality of the ship, I thought was really cool.
Yeah. And then going back to Baby Yoda, we got the comedy aspect bits with him, whether it's, him passing out after using the Force, or the little lever knob, or there was the meme going around for a while when it first aired, but him changing the pushing buttons on the ship, and people would put it as the radio station where he was changing the channel. So that was funny. And then
I like that whole episode where he is like being babysat by that lady. He has to like leave Baby Yoda with the one lady.
Oh, on Tatooine? Oh yeah,
yeah.
She's great. Yeah, she's great. Yeah. So he's fantastic, and having that comedic element involved as well just kind of, doesn't break up the story, but I think it just adds to it. And then I'm trying to remember if it was season 1. He went on some planet, like he landed, and he tells him to stay. I think it's the village where he first meets Cara Dune, and he tells him to stay on the ship, and he's like, "I'll be back." And he's walking off the ramp, and then you just see Baby Yoda like No, not even floating, just walking down. And he's like, all right, fine, come on. Just seeing him walk is great.
Little Yoda legs.
Mm-hmm. So good. So good.
I like the people on the internet that mauled over him being called Baby Yoda, and they're like, actually, he's 4,000 years old or whatever.
He's 50. Okay.
Sure, man, but he looks like a baby though.
Well, yeah. I mean, the species age is different. I mean, how old was Yoda when he finally, kicked the bucket? Like, yeah, I think they even said it in an episode. Like, yeah, he looks like a baby, but actually he's been like alive for 50 years. I think it was 50 or something like that.
Yeah,
So
no, you're right.
they just age like real slow, I guess.
I wish they would name that species though too, so that he wouldn't have to be like just Yoda.
There's probably a name like somewhere deep in the the lore, but
I'm sure there was one book written in 1987 in
right.
the EU. That has the...
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess the species is just so rare in the Star Wars universe that, like, obviously the common folk does not know it per se. Because I mean, we only have seen three. We've seen Yoda. We've seen Baby Yoda. I think there's a female Yoda in the council, Yaddle, but I don't know if that's canon. So
I've never seen that. But
oh,
I
okay.
don't like it.
I think it's in the prequels. You can see her in the back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm remembering
She's
wrong.
Yoda's girlfriend. He's like, oh, she's on the too.
But I don't know.
There's only two of us in the whole universe. Like, just let me have her.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, please tell me they didn't do the Disney thing of making her a female Yoda by like making her pink or have like big eyelashes or something.
No.
Oh, good. But I mean, in general, though, I do like the idea of Baby Yoda works because Pedro Pascal. I mean, we just saw him in Wonder Woman. He's very emotive, but
Yes.
He's got a mask on the whole time.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Yeah.
So Baby Yoda really helps to give him a lot of character and like soften up and stuff, and you can kind of tell his expressions without him having to emote. So
right.
That's great.
Yeah, tone of
It's
his
very
voice
good
and
writing.
Yeah, and speaking of the mask, that was cool too. Like, it just had this whole mystique this entire time with their code, their lore of like not removing their mask in front of anything living. And I like how that stayed strong until the very end. I mean, even though it wasn't in front of something living, but the I-88 or whatever he is makes that joke, I'm not alive. He takes the mask off and does the medicine. So that's good. Cool. Yeah, and they keep that throughout too, like that he's very adamant about his creed and code, which I appreciate. And there's some story progression there too that you'll eventually see, that I appreciate and thought was it's good character growth. It's just not the same thing over and over again. So I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of character in that helmet. Just as an aside, as a medieval nerd as well, I like the fact that helmet is like, it's very reminiscent of like 14th century Czech area helmet. So I'm like, that looks almost exact. I mean, take like the black bars out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's a 14th century Czech helmet. Like, it's awesome that they actually cared to put that in. But I guess the credit of that goes to George Lucas, like in the 70s or whenever
right.
Empire Strikes Back came out. But still, it looks fantastic, and they carried along to like that whole aspect carries through his character where like, oh, he's got to get the metal to smelt onto his armor, and like all the codes and stuff that he goes through. It's very like Arthurian Knights. It's very cool. Yeah
And then it was also cool just seeing the different variations of the Mandalorians, like down in that sewer area. Like, obviously they're all different shapes and sizes, and they got different weaponry and whatnot, and you see that in that big battle. I think it was 2, 3, I don't know, but early on in that series, that was cool to see. And I'm hoping they'll explore that a little bit more, because I know it's a dying race, or they keep saying it, but hopefully there's more like spread out and sporadically throughout the series. There's some you'll meet in season 2 that are very interesting and kind of bring up a new perspective, I guess you could say. So it was cool seeing them, and shout out to WWE superstar wrestler Sasha Banks for being one of them and doing a great job. So
Oh well, even if he did take off his Mandalorian helmet, I wouldn't have known.
So
That's cool though. That's pretty cool.
yeah. Trying to think what else big happened in season 1. I don't think. Okay, we saw the New Republic, like them trying to establish themselves in the prisoner episode you talked about. They show up quick.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like being, like I said, it just circles back to that separate story. Like bigger things are in play that are happening in between the timeline of when this takes place, but it's nice to be this separate entity going on and just like, oh, that thing is happening, but not focusing on it.
Yeah, exactly. It was cool to see like the New Republic, but like that folded into the storyline instead of just us having to be like told in an opening crawl text. Like, oh,
Yeah.
Republic.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think.
By the time episode 7 rolls around, you're just like, okay, so hold on. There was another Republic, and then also there's another bad guys too.
Right.
And then also, like, it's a lot to catch up with.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the last note for me is just that theme. That theme that he has is great too. The little whistle, like almost cowboy-esque, like Wild Wild West type stuff. Real good.
Yeah, I think Jon Favreau said in general when he came up with the idea, he was trying to model it after like old Western shows from like the 60s and 70s, where like it was just a very insular, like each episode is its own like adventure type thing.
Okay.
Which I do think he captured. So that makes sense that the theme is like Western. I didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah, I just with that whistle like tone early on, and then thinking more about it, like almost like that dun 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 dun. Like you could kind of get like a spur step if you like a walking beat to it, kind of thing. Man, that's good.
Now I'm kind of, just to tie everything back together with the bow though as well, I kind of want to see the Mandalorian with the Wonder Woman theme.
Somebody added that together. Yeah. So, yeah, I think overall, fantastic show. Looking forward to seeing where it continues to. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts on season 2, TJ. And then speaking of season 2, podcast listeners, right now we're going to transfer into me talking about season 2. So I hope you guys enjoy that. Hi guys, welcome to talking about The Mandalorian season 2 solo. So, hi guys, how are you? Shut up, peanut gallery. So yes, we're talking Mandalorian season 2. Unfortunately, DJ didn't get to watch it prior to the podcast, but I finished it literally last night. I enjoyed season 2 a lot. Now I know Brent went on his tangent pre-show last week about guest characters and how like he didn't want, like, just leave him alone, I think was his main thing. I don't know, I didn't listen back to it, and I took my headphones out when they were talking about it to avoid spoilers. But I think his main thing was he didn't want, like I said, them to just want to rely on the old characters, which I know I said in the season 1 recap that like it's its own standalone thing, and I think that's good. I don't mind these guest characters. I don't mind Boba Fett being in it. I don't mind Ahsoka, I believe her name is, being in it, and then obviously at the end Luke being in it. I think it adds to it, like, not like that it was bad being its own standalone story. I think it just adds more excitement to it, because I think like they're just showing up, and then they kind of go off and doing their own thing. Like Ahsoka was only in this one episode, and then she's like, peace, bye, okay, doing my own thing, gonna go do my own series looking for Thrawn or whatever. Boba Fett's been in 3, technically made a cameo in the end of 1, which was like, cool, he did survive, because people, were speculating on that for years, and I think there was books about it. But then obviously the last 3, maybe it was in 4 episodes, excuse me. The last 3 episodes he was getting his armor back, which made sense, and then helping out. But now he's going to be doing his own thing, and it set up his own show at the end credits of the last episode. Cool. Great. Do your own thing. And then Luke showing up, obviously, it's just progressing the Grogu, the Baby Yoda story. Like, being trained in the Jedi ways, the Force, etc. And it was it was a good wrap up to that story of, you know, the Mandalorian taking after the child, looking after him, taking care of him. And it was emotional. I mean, I got a little teary eyed. Not gonna lie, when, you know, Baby Yoda says his goodbyes. But I thought that wrapped a nice bow on that story. And obviously with episode 8, I know I'm jumping around a lot with the dark saber. It opens up this new storyline of like, okay, well, what does this mean now that he has this dark saber in his possession? So I like I said, nice bow, nice endpoint. Moving on to the next thing for Mandalorian season 3. So yeah, like I said, a lot of jumping around. Like I said, I don't know how long this review is going to be. Probably quick. Probably just quick bullet points of what I liked, what I didn't like. So yes, guest stars I liked. As I mentioned also with TJ, I liked how people in this series are returning and making their comebacks. They're not just one-off side written B-style characters. They have importance. So we had talked about the prisoner, the main leader of that rebel gang, I guess you could call, making his return and making his own character growth and character arc of getting his comeuppance and revenge against the Empire after working with them. I thought that was good. Obviously, we got Cara Dune making a big impact with helping out Mando and continuing that friendship and alliance, helping out with the Baby Yoda stuff and whatnot. We get, I don't know the character's name, but I think Ming-Hua Chen is the actress's name. She's been in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as well. That was a little bit more surprising because obviously, yeah, she was dead, or so we thought. But her coming back with Boba Fett being under his debt for saving her life, being not half robot, but mechanical now, was cool. And she's a great actress, so it's interesting and nice to have her back. Once again, she's done. She's going to be going to the Boba Fett storyline, so it's not like these characters are coming in and taking over. It's just they're coming in and their stories are doing the interweaving of certain points. It just happens. They match up and then they go on their separate paths, and they're good support characters. Excuse me. But yeah, it was an overall good storyline of this season of we need to get the child back to his kind of the Jedi. And it was strong. Some points that I don't know if I didn't like per se or just were weird. Going back to Luke, when he shows up, like, he's great, and I think he fills his role great. What the fuck happened CGI to his face? We talk about how great this show looks and how movie quality it is. Now, clearly you couldn't have Mark Hamill. I get it. Timeline-wise, age is not going to add up. But what the fuck happened to that face mapping, whatever you were doing? Oh, horrendous. Looks so bad. I don't know. I get why they went the CGI route, because Mark Hamill's this character. Everybody recognizes him as this character, blah, blah, blah. I think it's boss logic, or maybe just a lot of people have noticed that Sebastian Stan, Winter Soldier, looks so much like Mark Hamill, or has, similar facial structure or whatever you want to call it. I don't know, similarities. Why couldn't we just use him? Now, maybe it's the thing of like, this is Luke's only appearance. Do we really need to shell out a lot of money for Sebastian Stan just to show up this one time? Then on the other hand, he could have been a nice guy and just done it anyway. I don't know. It's all business stuff. It just, oh God, it just took away from the moment at times. It's like how bad that looked. I don't know. I would have personally done it different or tried to do it better. I know those people put in a lot of work for it. I'm not saying it's an easy thing to do, but that could have used some polish. That's all I'm saying there. I did enjoy I know I was talking about down points. I did enjoy the other Mandalorians with their different creed, learning a little bit more about their story. Once again, shout out to Sasha Banks. She did a great job in her role. I'm a little confused as where the third dude, Mando, went. in their trio. It was just the princess and Sasha left, but whatever. They did great, and they're both represented and presented as strong characters. So shout out to them. Obviously, we have a wrestler in the show, so we got to incorporate a little wrestling maneuvers, which I appreciated in the fight scenes. I don't know. There wasn't a lot of bad stuff. I don't know much about Ahsoka, to be honest. I know she's Anakin's apprentice from separate series. I don't think it was Rebels, but it was the Clone Wars and whatnot. So it's cool that we're getting more of her lore and story, I guess. And obviously it fills that excitement factor for those for those fans and people who've been watching like everything. Like, oh God, this person's, she's here. And Rosario Dawson crushes it. She does great. I think they're doing her own series. I think they've already confirmed that. And Thrawn's another character I don't know much about. I've just seen him and know about him from the books here and there. But I guess that's where they're going to be taking her series and storyline. So yeah, it was cool seeing her. I didn't realize she had like white lightsabers. I thought they were blue, at least from the imagery that I had seen. But that was cool. It was neat to see, and I like how she's very powerful and stealthy with her episode and her approach with that encampment, I guess you could say, or base, or whatever you want to call it. She was a very strong character. One question I do have is what's up with Beskar? Why can't lightsabers cut through that? That confused the shit out of me this season, whether it was her lightsabers against the spear or the dark saber, which is it a lightsaber? Still don't know. Is it a lightsaber or is it just some other mystical powerful item? Once again, not getting through the Beskar armor as the Mando is just blocking it with his shoulder pads and arm guards and the spear. Very confusing there, but it can cut through everything else, it seems. Just question mark. Like, are we just doing this so he can defend himself better? If so, that's a little weak, but I need a reasoning for that. Or would appreciate a reasoning for that. And then back on the darksaber, like, is it a lightsaber? If so, why do the Mandalorians have it? And interesting that the person who is like the heir to Mandalore has the saber. So I guess that's what we'll be talking about in season 3. With obviously the tension between him and the princess, I guess. I don't know. Obviously Moff is still alive, so maybe he'll still play a role into this. Maybe he just will keep instigating between them. Like, I mean, Mando's just wanted to give it up, but it's all about the story and how you won it, I guess. Which I get it. It's a honor thing. But yeah, I guess that'll be a big component into season 3 whenever that does come out. I guess just my last note on everything. Everything seemed to have bigger stakes in this season, which makes sense. There's more of the Empire chasing in this season. You got hints of that in the first season with obviously the Baby Yoda stuff, but there's more of it in this season with the higher stakes or with the increased role. I don't know, which leads to higher stakes for each mission, which I appreciate. It made everything more tense, more impactful, more interesting to watch. Not that season 1 wasn't. It just was a different. I think it was more intimate in one with the story of like each individual thing that they were doing per episode. This one felt like more of a grander scale in a way. I hope that doesn't sound weird. Hopefully that makes sense. But everything felt good about the scenes. A little sad, once again, Baby Yoda leaving. Hopefully we'll see him again, but then again, I feel like that's going to be its own, not a separate series, but maybe that's like his end point, similar to Luke. Like, he doesn't need to show up again, which is sad, because obviously a lot of people like Baby Yoda's character or Grogu's character. So it's going to be interesting not seeing him around. Crap, I had another point. The ship. I mentioned how I thought the ship was really cool. Just gets blown up. I get it. Stakes, once again, things mean things. Like, sucks. I like that ship. where do we go now? I like how they showed Slave 1, because you always wondered, or at least I did, how the fuck it lands this way but it flies this way. Like, I like they showed the gyroscope aspect inside of it. I don't think it makes the most practical of ship for storage, but I did like that just subtle explanation. That scene, they didn't have to go outright and say it, but they showed it through their obviously the production. I don't know, Peanut Gallery. What is the point of the show if Baby Yoda isn't it? Maybe Baby Yoda will get his own series. Baby Yoda and his friendly adventures. I don't know. But yeah, it's going to be interesting seeing where it goes with season 3. My only guess is obviously the Darksaber focus, and the tensions there. But yeah, where does the Mandalorian go from here? He successfully achieved his mission and carried that out with getting Baby Yoda back to his kind. Does he just go back to being a bounty hunter? Does he just go back to the town with the recruiter and just chill on that planet? I don't know. Cara Dune's kind of got her thing going on the... was it Navarro? That was the same planet. So maybe they just all go back there and that's the planet. Like, is the Empire going to be after him anymore? Because he's been wrecking shop, but he doesn't have the child anymore, so it doesn't matter. I guess they wouldn't know because everybody's dead on the ship. So I guess it's just going to be focused on this Darksaber. And what does that mean? What's the importance of it? What's its repercussions or effects of him having it compared to the princess, I guess. So I don't know. It'll be interesting seeing where we go into season 3 and where the show progresses from here. But overall, I thought it was a great season. Like I said, I thought the special guest appearances, even though I was spoiled on Twitter about most of them, were still good. Were enjoyable. I don't feel they were shoehorned in. I don't know how Brent put it specifically. It didn't feel forced to me, and it felt like they were just here for this one thing. Once again, it's that intersecting of stories. It's not like, I'm in your story now, I'm taking over, I'm the most important thing. Like, it felt like, I'm in, I'm gone. I'm in, I'm gone. And then we're still focused on this one timeline, focus on this storyline of Mando, and it just goes from there. So I didn't have a problem with it. Maybe I should go listen to Brent's thing more specifically about his flaws or negative thoughts on it, whatever it is. Or maybe just talk to him directly. I don't know. But yeah, that is my thoughts on season 2. Thanks for listening, and let's get back to back. Hopefully I didn't piss everybody off. Editing magic. Whoa. Yeah, hopefully I didn't piss all you guys off with those opinions and thoughts about season 2, but why would it? It's great. So yeah, show's great. Highly recommend it for anybody who's a Star Wars fan. Even if you're not that big of a Star Wars fan, like we both mentioned, it's separate enough from the main story that it's its own thing. So like, you don't have to be, oh my god, Star Wars, I think, to enjoy it. I think you can just enjoy it as its own thing and then enjoy the ride from there. So
I mean, even a bigger stuff for that, my girlfriend hates Star Wars movies because she hates space wizards, she says, with lightsabers.
Okay.
She loved the Mandalorians.
Oh.
So
Nice.
good stuff.
Cool.
Might just be Baby Yoda. I don't know. Who knows?
I mean, whatever sells you on the show. You got it's a wide demographic they're trying to get. So
yeah, but it's definitely separated enough to.
yeah, definitely. Well, guys, this has been another episode of the Wait, What Are We Talking About podcast, episode 79. My name is Bret, a.k.a. Enigma9011, and today, once again, I was joined by TJ, a.k.a. Electric Wizrobe, excuse me. TJ, thanks for being on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun, man.
Good.
Always appreciate it.
I'm glad. Hopefully, we figured out some good games that you can get on your Steam library.
Definitely. I'm not going to get any sleep tonight because I'm going to watch probably like 6 hours of Jeff Reg playing Control. But
There you
know
go.
what?
There you go.
It's worth it.
I'm sorry, Peanut Gallery, what'd you say?
I said get Persona 4 Golden.
Peanut Gallery says get Persona 4 Golden. She got her last bit in there. Plug.
Right at the finish line. Just
Yeah.
throwing that in.
Yeah. If you guys want to catch the podcast live, you can go over to twitch.tv/Enigma911 where it's live every other Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can join in the chat like Papa Griff and Snack did today. Join in the chat, join in on the conversation. We'd love to have you. If you can't catch it live, you can always go to YouTube and SoundCloud the following Friday, where it's posted as one big video and MP3 for your amusement. And then last but not least, remember, #ad. You can get all of your merch and swag over on the merch store. Get your t-shirts, cups, backpacks, and more. Rep the brand, support us. It would be greatly appreciated. I know I said it was the last thing, but I got one more thing. Follow us on social media, guys. All right? You can do it everywhere. YouTube, SoundCloud, Facebook, Twitter, Discord, Instagram. 99.9%. It is Enigma 9011. Just go over there and follow. If you want your stream updates, you want your podcast updates, you want content, just go over there. Drop a follow, drop a sub, whatever it is. Remember, it's free. Especially if you have Amazon Prime. You have Prime Gaming. That's one free Twitch subscription. You can get all the cool emotes over there. You can get the Ted. You can get the Woo. You can get the Loot emote, which is new. You can get them all. So please do that. Support us. It would help out a lot. Thank you, guys. TJ, once again, thank you very much. Appreciate it. We'll have to get you on again. Talk maybe what Steam games you did get, because now it's a cliffhanger. And maybe with maybe some WandaVision, we could figure out what's going on there.
Yeah, please have me back at any time for any of the Marvel stuff, because I'm going to talk your ear off about it anyway, so you might as well film me doing it.
There you go. There you go. Speaking of Papa Griff, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Forgot to mute that, so podcast guys, you get to hear that. So sorry. But yes, WandaVision coming out. We'll have to have TJ back on for that. Starting January 15th, so 13 days as recording this. So we'll see how that goes. It's right around the corner. Viewers, chat, listeners, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching this podcast, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.